guys, it's Lindsi here with Todd.
Hey guys. All right, so it's Thursday, and we aren't going to talk so much about rewards, but we're going to talk about what's going on in the news and the different things that are going. So I've been picking up a few different articles that are going on that I wanted to talk about. First off, I saw an article this morning or yesterday. It was about Bank of America. And it was Christine Bassent, the CTO of Bank of America, saying that they have yet to found a use case for blockchain technology in finance. Well, given my history, working with the banks and airlines, and Bank of America in particular, my company was a vendor for many, many, many years. And each year we go in with new technology ideas and new things. And I have to quote my famous quote from an executive of Bank of America. As we finished our talk about innovating some things around their loyalty and their rewards programs, he sat down at the end of the table and said, well, here at Bank of America, we do not innovate. We wait for somebody else to create things or do the innovation, and then we just follow. So I could understand the comment from the CTO at Bank of America that they have not yet found a use case for blockchain. Well, it doesn't surprise me at all because they are not innovating, and I don't expect them to innovate. But once it's in place, they'll be happy to jump in and follow.
They're not the thinkers, they're the sheep.
Yeah, they're not the thinkers of the machines. So anyways, not to bash Bank of America too much, but they have their own challenges. And actually, while we're on the bank, you were bringing up an article about one of the senators talking about the
Representative Sherman. He called for Congress about a week ago, I believe, to outlaw cryptocurrency in America and from Americans purchasing cryptocurrency for fear that it would diminish America's foreign policy power, and wants to act preemptively.
Right. So I'm looking at the headlines here. It says Congressman Brad Sherman wants to ban crypto-based crypto because it scares the living shit out of him. So, what actually scares the living out of me is, I guess this is YouTube, so we could say, what scares the living shit out of me is things that happened a few years ago. If we remember the term too big to fail, and one of the people I just talked about, Bank of America, was one of those companies too big to fail because it would destroy the U.S. economy and destroy the U.S. dollar and everything else that was going on. But today, we bailed them out. We used our dollars to bail out those banks because they were, quote, too big to fail. And we couldn't destroy the U.S. economy, didn't allow any of these companies that were mismanaged and poorly ran and uninnovative to actually fail. And we allowed them to get so large that they would destroy the country. Well, today, they're just even larger. Yes. So they actually have control of the company. The bank and the finance system, of this country is really by the banks. Those banks fail, the country's going to be in bad shape.
We all go down.
So, we look at crypto, and I was thinking about this morning, is, crypto as a Bitcoin or as a global currency that you can exchange, across borders without the government manage or the government influence is a really interesting concept. So if we go down the path of the imaginary world, where we have a fully, functional global currency that each and every one of us, carries our, crypto wallet around. We get paid our salaries in crypto. We pay our taxes in crypto. What does that actually do to governments? Mm-hmm. And I think this is what, really scares, the governments. If you think about it from an economic standpoint, a government right now, when it needs to pump up the economy or artificially inflate something or bail out the banks, it just creates more currency. Mm-hmm. It just creates more of its money because it manages it. And if you're using a global currency that's like Bitcoin, you're just not going to create any.
Right,
so
you can't just magically make it appear.
It means you're going to have to be better managed.
Right.
The governments and economies that are poorly managed aren't going to have the ability to just create new currency and artificially stand up or stimulate something or even fight a war. Right. So, governments are here for us to pay taxes to generate some infrastructure, fight wars, et cetera, which, I wish we wouldn't do the war thing, but, whatever.
Right. Well, that's really interesting because I was actually talking with one of our colleagues here, Nate, about it yesterday, talking about the gold standard, how cryptocurrency would almost be like the gold standard versus the dollar, the paper dollar, because there'd actually be real value in that versus an inflated value of the dollar from printing and whenever you need it.
Right.
So it's kind of, would you say that's kind of like a similar comparison, or no?
Well, I think the whole concept of an independent global currency is interesting. Mm-hmm. If it became fully in place, full fruition, what's the real impact, of it? What's the real impact to government? Currency was originally generated, for governments to be able to collect taxes. Well, certainly you can, collect taxes, via crypto. Actually, I understand right now you can get your tax return back in crypto, so that's great. So that's progress. But what would really happen if the government doesn't actually have control of that currency? If they just can't go print more currency, that means their economy is really based on being able to build those currency reserves, hold currency in place, be managed very well, because they're just not going to be able to create new. So if they want to go try to re-stimulate the economy by shoving billions of dollars into the economy, they just can't create that. They're going to have to have it in reserves. They're going to have it managed to be able to put it into the economy. Mm-hmm. Something our government doesn't do very well at all. I can't say we actually manage a budget worth anything. I mean,
too much.
If I managed my budget like our government manages theirs, I'd be extremely in debt, but it's I don't know how you continue to operate. The normal person cannot continue to operate that way. Yeah. And so it's I'm excited to see that global aspect and that global currency and having those global transactions in place, but I'm not sure how it ultimately is going to affect it from a government standpoint. I don't see governments doing away with their fiat currency. It's not going to replace that. To what degree does it supplement that, or it's like you said, the gold basis to something? I mean, Roosevelt took away the gold standard to the dollar for us in 33, I believe, and I think in 34 he devalued the new dollar by 40%. So we could certainly lose our value very quickly.
I mean, we saw that in 2009 when we went through the recession. 2009 when we went through the recession, the value of the dollar went down again. It went back up, of course. Yeah. So it's a similar situation.
Yeah. Well, and so, anyways, there's a lot going on in the market. There's a lot of news. So Thursday, I think is our kind of day to talk about whatever that's happening in the world of crypto and blockchain. All of it ultimately has an impact on us, and it impacts us of how we manage our business and how we put forth our technology. And we're all in this together. So, I'm very excited to be in this market. I'm very excited to push it forward. And I know we've talked a lot in the crypto market of how do we get further adoption and mainstream adoption. Well, my goal with going down the path of loyalty and rewards is it's a very easy thing for the average person to deal with and understand. They earn their crypto just like they earn a point. They redeem it. They can take it out and trade it. So part of it is just circulating the currency. Part of it is education. So we're excited to be in the market and excited to be here and exploring.
Yeah, and as somebody who has never worked with crypto before until Rewards.com makes it so easy, and now I'm on all kinds of different exchanges looking at stuff, watching the market. I'm like,
you're going down the rabbit hole.
I'm going down the rabbit hole. And it's just keeps spiraling. So, yeah, I mean, I like the program, and I think it's going to do a lot of great things and help influence the market a lot.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.